Hello, and welcome to another edition of Airway on Demand podcast interviews. I am your host, Dr. William Rosenblatt, professor of anesthesiology and surgery at Yale University School of Medicine. Today, we are recording from the Yale New Haven Hospital Smilow Cancer Center. Today, we'll be speaking by phone to Dr. Valerie Armstead, professor of anesthesiology at Cooper University Hospital in Camden, New Jersey. Valerie is also the program director of the 2014 Society for Airway Management meeting, which will happen in Seattle, Washington, September 19th through 21st. Hello, Valerie.
Hi, Will.
I understand you're program director of the upcoming SAM meeting that's going to be in Seattle this September, correct?
That's correct.
And I also understand that the board of directors of SAM just had a phone meeting to talk about it, so you've gotten them up to date on what's happening there.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about the plans for the meeting.
Well, as you know, the meeting is going to be in Seattle, and we are very excited about the fact that we're going to be trying to take a very futuristic approach as far as the topics of the meeting. And what we plan to do is, of course, present to the attendings the latest information on a variety of topics, remembering a lot of the history of some of the issues and the work that has been done, some of the pioneering stuff, but at the same time, just really to project what is truly the state of art and beyond as far as some of the topics. And some of the topics are ones that have not really been presented at any of the meetings.
Can you give us a hint on some of the topics that might be?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Well, one of the topics that I'm really excited about is actually we have a very prominent pulmonologist who has done some of the cutting-edge work in the latest treatment for asthma. And this is Dr. Mario Castro from Washington University in St. Louis, investigators as far as a new therapy for people who have recalcitrant bronchospasm called bronchothermoplasty. And to me, I'm very excited about it because the status asthmaticus is still a significant problem and actually a killer for a lot of people who struggled with the disease for a very long period of time. I think there was actually like a Pulitzer Prize winning photographer who just died. Can't remember his name. In the Middle East. From status asthmaticus, and there have been, as I said, a lot of prominent people, and also just I'm sure someone has been touched by someone who's had the problem. But as I said, this bronchothermoplasty is something that kind of goes beyond medications as far as the treatment. So he's going to be presenting that.
Let me ask you about bronchothermoplasty. Is this something that we should see in the years to come, anesthesiologists participating in the therapy?
Yes, in that we may be asked to provide sedation for the procedure because this is actually an interventional procedure that patients have to undergo, and it significantly reduces these patients' admissions to hospital.
Well, being an anesthesiologist and an asthmatic and the father of an asthmatic, it does sound like very exciting stuff, and I can't wait to hear about it.
Oh, yes, very exciting, very exciting. Yeah, and of course, there are other people besides anesthesiologists who attend the meeting. So for me, once again, this is something that I think is going to be very exciting because we're going to have intensivists and ED docs and emergency responders who have to deal with these patients. And I'm just really happy to see that there has actually been some movement to deal with this. So that's very exciting. And another topic that we're going to be talking about is non-invasive ventilation. on a very grand scale. And once again, we have one of the world's experts in non-invasive ventilation, so it's going to go beyond just CPAP and BiPAP, but actually talking about how there have been some extraordinary technologies that are being used to prevent people from having to receive an artificial airway, because sometimes that is something that is hard to eliminate once that's been done. So in other words, keeping people out of trouble without having to instrument the airway is something that I think that's really exciting, because we have so many patients now who are living on with really significant pulmonary disease.
What about the roundtables? That's been a part of the program for several years at SAM.
Yeah, we're having a significant number of roundtable discussions, and the nice thing about it is that some of the people who are going to be our speakers are also going to be participating in the roundtable, and I believe, most of the people who are going to be speaking at the meeting will then be at the roundtable. So this is really good, because oftentimes we don't have a lot of time for discussion after a talk, and so this will allow people to continue with their discussions and have their questions answered. The other thing too that's really I find really exciting is that our Ova Sapien lecture is going to be Dr. Gaba, who is like the father of simulation. And so he's going to, David Gaba, and he's going to actually be presenting the state of the art as far as the simulation is concerned. So,
will there be a dinner or social events as in the past?
Oh, well, I think it's going to be really outstanding, and I think one of the best social events, because we're going to actually have our reception and awards dinner at the Space Needle.
Fantastic.
And there are some people who have been to Seattle but have never been in the Space Needle. So this, to me, that's very exciting. And the people who attend will also have the opportunity to actually go to the very top of the Space Needle. The reception is going to be held kind of in the middle of the Space Needle platform, but actually there will be the opportunity to go to the very top.
Fantastic. That sounds great.
Yeah, we're really excited about that.
Count me in. That sounds great. We'll have abstracts and awards for abstracts. Do you happen to know the due date for getting the abstracts in?
Dr. David Wong is going to be directing that. It's usually sometime in July, so there actually is plenty of time, I think, for people to take the opportunity to prepare an abstract. Seattle is it's a great venue. It's a wonderful city. It's so beautiful, so clean, and so many things to see and do. So hopefully people can kind of plan some time around the meeting to explore the city and also the sites. The hotel, in keeping with the Emerald City and being green, is a green hotel. It's the Hyatt at Olive. Very progressive as far as its design and the whole idea of keeping green, and there'll be plenty of opportunity for people to socialize with each other, because it's not a great big huge hotel, and it's very close to it's within steps of the very famous Pike Place Market. So all of that is really outstanding. And once again, very excited about the venue and the rooms and the location.
Also, historically, the vendors have been an important part of the meeting. How's been the response?
The response has been very, very positive. Even within the past few days, I've had vendors who've never exhibited at the meeting request a prospectus so that they can be present. And some of the newer type of vendors that we have are going to be like ultrasound, people with ultrasound and once again, that's very exciting to me because I do all types of anesthesia, including cardiac and regional anesthesia. And so to have ultrasound vendors available to demonstrate their products, and in the past as well as during this meeting, we're going to have some sessions regarding ultrasound of the airway and applications from proximal all the way down to distal airway visualization. That's something that I think is really going to be positive.
Who will be leading that up?
I believe Dr. Wendy Tao, who is actually our international speaker, will be talking about airway ultrasound, and she also will be talking about obstetrical anesthesia as well.
Is there anything else you want to add?
Well, it's going to be an international meeting. It's going to be a very special opportunity for people to get up close and personal with a lot of giants in the airway world, as well as meeting new people. It's a wonderful venue, and everything is just going to be very top-notch, from the food, the fun, as well as the educational aspect of it. We're really, really excited about the fact that this meeting is going to be, I think, very different in a positive way and very distinctive as far as the entire experience.
Very good. Well, thank you for telling us about the meeting, and I look forward to seeing you there and speaking to you at SAM and probably at other opportunities.
Oh, well, thank you so much for inviting me to talk about the meeting. It's my pleasure.
That concludes this episode of Airway on Demand podcast interviews. You can find out more information about this or previous episodes by going to www.airwayondemand.com and looking for the AOD PI button or tab. I also hope to see you at the upcoming Society for Airway Management meeting, which will be in Seattle, Washington, September 19th through the 21st. You can follow us on Twitter at AirwayOnDemand. And this is your host, Dr. William Rosenblatt, signing off and wishing you smooth airways.